All right, back again to the You Amaze Me recordings with myself, Amanda Baker, human, intuitive being, licensed therapist and yoga instructor, but overall authentic as much as I can be. I say that and I'm like, sometimes I'm probably not acting from my authentic self because the nervous system takes over, protectors take over, and, they're all a part of me. So they're all authentic in a way, but sometimes we're fooling ourselves. Sometimes we are acting from a place where we are speaking from defense and ego and not necessarily from the emotion and the body, but from the mind. And when that mind and body are disconnected and detached, I think we are deceiving ourselves. So I use that word lightly, authenticity. I have a strong place for it because I know that sometimes I am not authentic. And so when I'm bothered by somebody else's fakeness, deception, it's also showing something in me. So anyway, that's my little rant. But I'm here because this is going to be part 2 of tell me your diagnosis without telling me your diagnosis. So I recorded some of this yesterday with people who responded to my invitation to tell me their diagnosis without telling me their diagnosis. It's a game as a way that, yes, we could guess, we could guess what it is, but more so, I'm just curious on how people see themselves. I am curious what comes up for people when they identify with their diagnosis versus seeing their diagnosis as a form of symptoms and signals. And these things are very real. So I'm not discounting that your autism is not who you are. If you identify as that as being who you are and it feels fulfilling for you and it's serving you and you are satisfied with the way that you're living, then claim that identity. But what we claim as our identity in our solar plexus, in your third chakra, that runs your life. And so if your identity stems from, I'm depressed or I'm manic and nobody likes me and I'm not good enough, that's just what's going to keep showing itself. And you can choose, not choose per se, because sometimes we are working from that activated stress response and subconscious. And so integrating in a new identity, creating a new identity for yourself that serves you, that is the most satisfying, fulfilling way of living, and being as honest as you can. So anyway, here we are. I ramble a lot and did that yesterday. And so it was a 50-some minute episode where I talked a lot at the beginning and less about the comments. And so I want to get right into the comments and see what comes. Hopefully the video lasts because yesterday the video shut down and it's fine either way. Okay. So here we go. Tell me your diagnosis without telling me your diagnosis. If you want to play along and try to guess, share, write me, feel free. If you just want to listen and take in, or doing whatever you're doing while you're listening, or pause here and not listen, choose what is best for you in that moment. All we have is this moment, and this is the most important moment that there is. So if you're here, you're getting something from it, whether it's triggering you and that's a lesson and that's learning and that's information that's showing you something, or whether it's resonating or whether it's pretty neutral, anywhere in between. So this one came in, I have over 100 comments now, which is so cool. Some of them are pictures. So with the screen working, I can show you some of the pictures and maybe you can help me with it. Because I noticed myself sometimes wanting to respond to some of the comments. And then I'm like, I don't even know what to say per se. I don't want to offend anyone. But also, again, if it does offend you, that's showing and telling you something. So this one says, my body continually tries to eat all its soft tissues. Immediately, I spoke about this in the previous part 1 episode of autoimmune. And a lot of people on here said that they have like fibromyalgia. And I that can be medical, but my belief and things that I share here are my beliefs from my professional opinion, but also my human opinion, that the eating of the soft tissue or the attack on your body from your immune system is also emotionally oriented because your nervous system is also activated. And if we are scared of our emotions, or we're in a stress response, because most of us are living in chronic stress states, but we can change that identity, then yeah, it's going to attack. It's going to attack. And you might need the combination of the medical and the medicine and the treatment, and also maybe some of the more emotional, psychological, holistic, spiritual approaches. So my body continues to try to eat all of its soft tissue. I just, when you are in that, and it's so real, and you can get pulled into the symptoms, the disorder, it can be hard to get out of. Our mind will do the most wildest, trickiest things. And the mind can be harsh, and sometimes the mind can be funny. The mind can be fascinating. And so when you're in that, it's like, oh yeah, your body probably hurts. Maybe you're tired. So I appreciate the shares, and I'm not here to give the answers. I believe that you are your own therapist. You can be your own therapist, and that the people that you come across are like they're the person that's meant to be with your soul in those moments. I'm not saying that's your soulmate, but they're meant to be with your soul in those moments. So here, you with me, we could say, oh, this is artificial because we're just listening through like virtual reality. It's not a virtual reality, but like through technology. Who's to say that's not real? That's not going to offer you something. It's not going to be connective in some way. So, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing the way that technology works, because it's a field. It's a light beams. That's not my field of work, but someone can be listening here from another country, the UK, Europe, India, and I'm here, in this little Baltimore, Maryland, this little speck of the universe. Okay, I want to show you the picture since the camera's working. So here we go. Don't mind my cracked screen. But this is what someone sent in as their response to tell me your diagnosis without telling me your diagnosis. So curious what comes up for people with that picture. It's cool. It's pretty. They're like little pegs of color. I'm not sure what it's meant to be. I don't really need to figure it out, but if something comes for you, tell me. All right. What else we got? I have no idea where my keys are, or my left shoe for that matter. I'm usually the first one to act in a crisis, and the calm demeanor with which I conduct myself in a crisis is completely absent when I have to do administrative tasks. I will literally melt down over paperwork. Ugh. So you can be calm in crisis, and then panic in like admin tasks. Again, our symptoms are signals, and it's like, well, why are you putting yourself through the admin tasks? Just curious. You don't like them. Sometimes we have to do them, but if that's your day job, if that's your full-time job, and are you coming from the energy of like, I'm forced to do this and I hate being here and this sucks, versus I'm doing this because it's the bridge leading me to something else. It's my form of income. It's serving me the money that I get to then use to maybe pay for a hobby that I love, pay for an activity that I love. You don't have to do that for the rest of your life, but if it's serving you in that moment because it's paying you for something, something about the energy there. And I use the word energy a lot because our emotions are energy, our emotions. And so what is the emotion of like, I hate this task? Does it stem from a belief that I'm not capable, that I'm inadequate, that my brain won't work in the way that I need it to get this done? And do you have to do it? Right? Like, are you literally forced to be doing that task? I encourage people, and this is not to blame anyone. I just fully believe that we have so much power that we are hiding in our body, that we're ignoring because we don't feel courageous enough. Fear of something. If I let this go, I won't have a job and I won't have money and I'll end up on the streets. And there are people who are on the streets, and their resilience is remarkable. Your resilience to show up and attempt to complete a task is remarkable. And did you find your keys? Did you find your left shoe? Like it's human to lose things, to not know where they are, and then we shame ourselves and we're so harsh and we're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? When we say that line to ourselves, what's wrong with me, or about anybody, like, you said that, what's wrong with you? Nothing. The feeling of that, the feeling of I lost my keys, I feel helpless. We really struggle to be with that. The feeling that I am trying to complete this task and I'm inadequate at it. The feeling of inadequacy, we suffer in. There's a difference between struggling and suffering. Like I said in the first episode, you might like the struggle and that's why you keep repeating it. Own it. I like the thrill. I like the thrill of this feeling. It means I'm alive. As soon as we shut down, as soon as we detach, you will not feel alive. And that's the depression. That's the I'm not alive, so I want to, maybe you have suicidal thoughts. Well, yeah, if you're not living, and living isn't happy all the time, living isn't excitement all the time, but the spark is not always excitement. The spark can be that, like, I'm helpless. I don't know how to do this. Like, in this workspace, in this space, when I moved in here to set up my workspace, and I had to put up why can't I think now? What are they called? Oh my gosh, the curtain rods. Like, I have no idea how to put up curtain rods. And I've shared this with my clients. I literally just cried on the floor. Like, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. Someone do it for me. That helplessness. And it's agonizing. And then eventually, either I could look it up on YouTube and try to do it, and that would have been frustrating. I would have been so frustrated in that. I've hated every second of it. Like, why put myself through that? And we can think of so many reasons. I ended up paying someone, TaskRabbit, because a friend said, Amanda, just pay TaskRabbit. And someone could say to me, Amanda, you don't have, not everybody has the luxury of paying for that. Correct. Not discounting that. Not saying my way is the best way or the right way. I'm moving us through the feeling. I had this helplessness, and I could have continued to stay in that helplessness and complain, or I could feel the helplessness and let myself cry, let myself have my tantrum. We can have tantrums as adults. We need to shake it out. We need to scream. If you feel like screaming, go and scream. Drive in your car to the edge of a cliff, not really, to the middle of nowhere, and scream. Show yourself. Show yourself. No one else has to see that. No one else has to know what you're thinking. And literally freaking scream into the abyss, because being human sucks at times and is freaking hard. And so, I called TaskRabbit and had someone come days later. No, I wanted it instantly done then. I wanted the curtains and the rods up then. One, I didn't have a ladder. I don't know how to use a drill. There's no way I could have done that. And I could have shamed myself and been like, I suck. Or open myself up to other perspectives. And so, like I said, I shared how I was feeling with a friend, vulnerable, open, and called TaskRabbit. The curtains were up. But I got to feel the helplessness. I can't just pretend that I know what I'm doing, or I'm going to get through this and I'm going to call somebody else, and I don't ever feel helpless in myself or inadequate in myself. People who have what appears to be a luxurious life still suffer at times and still struggle. I know that I like the challenge because it pushes me to grow. And sometimes that challenge is being in my obsessive thoughts or being with these ruminations and hating them at times, and other times being like, these are here because they're showing me something that I'm not feeling in my body. And if I can go in and let myself feel it and really have to feel that agony and know that our emotions last on average 90 seconds, if we let them be as they are. I mean, that helplessness with the curtains did not last for just 90 seconds, lasted for longer than that. I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour. I cried a lot that day on the floor by myself. And I share this because the therapists are human too. And the most luxurious person has that as well. And when we can see it as a symptom or a signal of something, like you lost your shoe. You can't find your shoe. Can't find your keys. Did you find them? Did you? This is all not love and light. This is the light on your freaking darkness, because when you claim your darkness, you are the light. You are the light because you have the dark. I get a little worked up, and I know sometimes I talk on here with like a charge, and I know I'm not talking at anyone. I'm talking for me and for you as your mirror. Okay. My brain has two operators. One likes order and routine. The other is a chaos goblin. Hey, hey. And they're constantly fighting over the controls that never tire. And I'm chronically exhausted because of this. And you're exhausted because you don't like the fight. You're exhausted because you're in the conflict and they're fighting each other. Let them coexist. Oh my goodness, they can coexist. You are order and routine, and you are chaos and mess. And when you channel that into something healthy, like what do you love about chaos? Do you love the dynamics of getting into arguments with people? Are you doing it from a place of ego? Or are you doing it with a place because I trust that if I hurt someone, I'm going to show up and listen to what they have to say, let them express themselves, come in from an open space that two different opinions can coexist, just like two inner conflicts can coexist in you at the same time and both be valid. And if they say that they're hurt by something that you said, hold the space for them. Be there. Be there. Don't rescue. Don't let me make you feel better. Let me say all these things and let me apologize. And I'm so sorry I hurt your feelings. Or defensiveness. Like, I refuse to acknowledge that I hurt you. You should not be hurt because I'm right, you're wrong. Like, that dynamic happens inside as well. But if that is showing up in your life, whatever chaos may be, because we inevitably as humans are going to hurt others and hurt ourselves. I preach, and not everyone's going to agree with me. And I hope to hold the space for that. And then my feelings might get hurt too. Though, like, let them down. Let people down. Not because you want to hurt them on purpose, or you want to disappoint them on purpose, or because there's something wrong or bad about you. Just our humanness in coexisting in the world. We are going to hurt people. We are going to disappoint people, and we're going to let them down. We're going to let ourselves down. We're going to disappoint ourselves. Can you show back up for you and be like, I get it. I don't need to fix you. I don't need to fix this, but I'm willing to do better next time. So share with me what hurt your feelings. And I don't even know if that's what you're saying, but that's just what came to me. So chaos goblin, I love it. Tell me your chaos. What is your chaos? Because your fire is your spark to your passion, to your curiosity, to your joy. And your fire is also your spark to the thrill, to the challenge, to what you're here to grow and evolve and learn. And then you also have order and routine, because all in balance. Sometimes you're probably so spot on and it works, and that's what gets praised. What happens if you're late? What happens if you miss an appointment? You understand that it's inconvenient for the other person, but that doesn't make you bad or wrong or guilty per se. The guilt is healthy. The guilt, when it is aligned with your morals and values, the guilt is telling you, oh, I don't want to be late, but I was. So the guilt is not necessarily about like, I inconvenienced them and I'm a horrible person. That's shame. That is shame. Your guilt is, I don't want to be late and I was, and I'm sorry. And next time I will be maybe a little bit more on top of it. Maybe. Or what may I do next time to be on time? Or what may I do next time that will help you because I inconvenienced you? Not from a place of abandoning self, from a place of your capacity, because you have the capacity to listen. Or you might have been late and the person's like, no big deal. The person after you canceled. Or no big deal, we're going to end 5 minutes early and you don't have to repair anything. This one might be long because I have a lot of rambles. Okay. Chronically exhausted. I think for you, when you let the constant fight inside no longer be a fight because you embrace the chaos and the order and the routine, you won't be as exhausted anymore. They both want to be there. They both are valuable and important. All right, I hear things, I think things, but they aren't actually things, not to you anyway. Hear things and think things. I said to this person, maybe some of that is like the cosmos and my spiritual side coming out, having some type of psychic power. I don't think any of us are psychic. I don't think we can predict the future. I do believe that we can be telepathic. Like we can think of a person and all of a sudden they call you. But I don't think that we can predict the future. No. I think we can feel things in our heart. That's true in the moment, but that doesn't mean anything about what's going to happen in the future. So anyway, I responded to that person saying that, and then I was kind of like, oh, but there's also like real things like hallucinations or delusions. But again, be delusional, not like paranoid. Maybe. I mean that's there too, and I'm sure that stems from something, and you may need medication to help balance things out. But delusional, I mean in the way of your limitlessness. Anything is possible. And why squash your dream? That's like having the spark and being like, I want this, I don't know, to like go and travel somewhere, but I'll never be able to do that. I'll never make it to Italy. Maybe. Can you open yourself up to be in the energy of the possibility of that? But it's like, oh no, it didn't happen. And like next month, I don't have the money. Nothing showed up for me. I want this new job, or I want to write the best poem, or I want to write a new poem, but it's not coming fast enough. So I'm going to squash my spark. Like, oh, I have no more creativity. You got to hold it. Hold it. Be so delusional that your creativity and your talent and your skill and your ability matters. And it has potential. Instead of focusing on the external potential, what is your internal potential to maintain it, to sustain it, to keep it alive because you're devoted to it, and to trust that your desire loves you as much as you love it. You wouldn't have it if it wasn't a part of you. You wouldn't even have the idea of, I want to whatever it is that you want, if it wasn't possible. We sabotage, we get in our own way. We get in our own way, and it's not meant to happen in the way that you probably predict it to. It's not meant to happen next week, but maybe it will happen in 5 years. You got to hold the energy and the desire of it, not the outcome of when and what it's going to look like. And when I was a kid and I would sing songs on the keyboard, I think as a kid, I knew I wanted to create and I wanted to speak. I wanted to voice. And look at me now. I never, several years ago, thought like I'd ever speak in front of a yoga class or read poetry in front of people or even speak here talking to myself. Maybe some listeners, maybe some people will listen. And I'm doing this alone. But as a kid, that 7-year-old me alone in my room on my keyboard, singing for my stuffed animals, writing lyrics, making up tunes, she wanted this. She wanted this. What did you want at 7 years old? 6 years old, 5 years old, 8 years old? Let's see, what else do we have? Everything is too slow. Everything is too slow. Like everything out in the world is so slow, but I'm fast. The person who wrote that, you're fast. You're fast. Okay, this person, I don't know, I may have read this yesterday. I think I did. Their superpower is worrying. Worrying is a superpower. Worrying is a superpower, and it's a curse. It is. It's both. And let both be there. And then people replied. It's so cool because people replied saying, I have those, but my superpower is knowing exactly what you feel, even if you say you don't. Yeah, be the truth teller. Like, call them out. Call them out even if you don't say it to them. Call it out for yourself. Yeah, I haven't been to any war zone, so people don't find my experience to be valid. The suffering I've endured does not count. The daily reminders of the agonizing horror, the ones I continue to face in my own mental war, do not count. None of it counts because I don't have a military badge to go along with it. No, it so counts. Not that my judgment has any level of authority. trauma does not discriminate. Doesn't matter your socioeconomic status. People at the top, the CEOs, the most famous people. Look, I really adore, I like using the word adore instead of admire, Jim Carrey. He speaks about this. How much freaking money does he have? And it's not even that money brings happiness, but he didn't go to war. He struggles with mental health. And he speaks of it. And he speaks of it too in a not so serious way. Like times he's serious and times he's not. Go check him out. Ethan Hawke has a really great talk on art and creativity as well. But Jim Carrey, he's like, we're just these tiny specks in the multiverse or in the universe. And he says this quote, I love it. I don't know it by heart, but he's like, I want everybody to be famous so that they can know that's not the way. He had experienced trauma, mental health from that lifestyle. You do not have to have gone to battle or been in the army or gone to war to have PTSD. And we know this because of the impact of developmental trauma and generational trauma on CPTSD, your complex PTSD. I do a lot of trauma work because I think trauma is what is a lot of our diagnoses stem from. And so, man, I feel for the people that lead you to feel like your trauma is not worthy, because trauma is however you perceive something. If you perceive something as leading you to feel powerless, as leading to a threat for your life, that's trauma. All right, evil person disorders. That includes being heavily traumatized as a kid. I don't pay attention and bordering on psychosis. Several disorders, by the way. Yeah. And I said we're all evil in some way. We all have evil in us. If we hide it, maybe good at it, it's there. And we all want to be loved. And so they wrote back, we are good, but we have to discover it. Yes, you freaking do. Yes, you do. That is on you. And I say this not to blame that you're not doing enough, but because you are so powerful and you are so courageous. You'll discover it. Keep following your passion and your heart and your curiosity moment by moment by moment. If the moment is saying, I'm passionate about crying on the floor, I'm passionate about sleeping all day, that's the moment. And when you get up, because I believe not in your resilience, but in your ability, your capability to get up, put your feet on the ground, eat some food, drink some water, play the song, write the words, speak something out loud, talk to yourself on camera in the mirror. No one else has to know. You'll discover it. My body feels like it's made up of silly string. My knees bend backwards if I fully let my legs relax. I've never had to ask someone to help me put on sunscreen. Also inside my brain, there are two wolves. Oh, here's another person that's similar to the one I read. One likes routine, one hates routine. They like to fight often. Okay. See how not alone we are? I don't know where these people are across the world. So it's just a bad period, huh? Oh, wow. I thought that was PMDD. I thought that was like the premenstrual dysphoric disorder, but endometriosis, another one. Endometriosis, autoimmune, real, very real, medical. Just like people have real back pain, real herniated discs, back pain. Dr. Sarno, read his book, Healing Back Pain. That's all I gotta say. I answered this in my head 13 years ago, and now I'm wondering if I said it wrong, even though I'm the only person who heard. Like a box of colorful tangled yarn. Right? There's that meme of therapy where it's like you go in and you have all this tangled string, and then the therapist is pulling like one string at a time. You're your own therapist. I believe you can do that too, with the help. You're the one pulling the string, not me. There's another, see, I have all these things. There's another story of a therapist talking to someone who is suicidal. And they're like, here, I have this stick. As a therapist, I have this stick. I'm going to hold out the stick, but I can't I cannot be the one that keeps you alive. Once I hand you the stick, you decide what you do with it. Because you are so powerful. Sadness feels like death. Happiness feels like euphoria. And there's a split. And I think everyone hates me. It can be so many. I mean, just think about like attachment trauma. Could say that's bipolar. Could say it's borderline personality disorder. Again, it's like, how important is the label? Helps you maybe feel not alone, helps you direct to certain treatment modalities. You listen to the resources that are in you. And for a period of time, it might be that you need the meditation. It might be that you go to the sauna and cold plunge. It might be that you do the EMDR. I've done all of that. I'm not saying that they're wrong. It's just I hold the power to when I use them and which ones are going to best suit me, and they're a part of the journey, but I might not need them anymore. I don't need them. I like them. I show up to my therapist not because I need it, but because I like it. Void in my eyes, ache in my chest, the blood in my veins burn, my eyes watering, my body's heavy, the light of the next day seems dull, and the darkness of the past crumbling. I like that because it kind of sounds like a poem. Every day I have to get in at least 1 hour of walking around in circles or I get restless. Sometimes I have to drop what I'm doing just to go have circle time. Our mind does wild things. And sometimes we feel like we're chained and have to listen to it. And sometimes we maybe don't. Everything's wrong with me and it's blamed on that. No. And then people responded obesity, anxiety, fibromyalgia, obesity, personality disorder. Okay, here's one I liked. He hasn't texted me back in a couple hours. He must actually hate me, so I'm going to hate him more first. I'm never going to talk to him again. What a piece of shit. I can't believe I ever gave him the time of day. A few minutes later. Oh, he texted me back. He was just a little busy. Oh, he's so funny and sweet. I love him. Someone put me down Old Yeller style. Yeah, I said disorganized attachment because I really prefer not to use access to personality disorders, especially for someone who's on here willing to share that. Because if you truly have a personality disorder, you will not even, again, this is my perspective, you won't even say that's you. Like narcissistic personality disorder, the narcissist will not even consider that they could be one. If you are having the thought that I could be a narcissist, you are likely not a narcissistic personality disorder. You likely do not have that. So they said this was borderline personality disorder, which there are some people who are willingly open to recognizing themselves as that. But it's nervous system dysregulation, and it's fear, and it's longing to be loved. And as a human, we all have those needs. I have to do any task. There's no way to do the task. Too many steps. Let me reread because I filled that in. Excuse me. I have to do any task, but there's way too many steps and now I'm overwhelmed. So now I'm going to shut down. Consistently inconsistent. The capacity. What do you believe about your capacity? What do you believe about your ability to hold discomfort and tension? Because this task goes back to I'm helpless, inadequate. Are you willing to say that that's how you feel? That is not weak. That's strength. We're not going to be good at everything. We're not going to be able to complete every task. Does that mean that you're awful, horrible, unworthy, a failure? Water feels like acid. Doesn't matter how much I chew, food will get stuck in your esophagus. So make sure you have water with every meal. A random patch of eczema and hives. I can't sleep. So itchy. My stomach feels like one big bruise with painful, awful spasms, always burning from the inside. So tired. I could sleep for 100 years. So nauseous. I can barely keep my eyes open. Most doctors don't know what to do with me. Mind, body. Well, all of that feels very, 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 very physical and very, very medically oriented. And it might be. I don't want to say that everything is mind, body. I mean, because you're getting checked out by doctors. You say most doctors don't know. I suspect that you've ruled out other things where we have these medical things. Like, oh no, it's cancer. Please go get those things checked out. Please rule out what it might be. And it might take years. And when doctors are saying it's all in your head, of course that is, and you know that it might not all be in your head. It could be both. Like I said about the back pain, don't just say I have back pain and there's nothing medical there. You might actually need medical treatment. Our system, though, is so polarized. Medical over here, mental health over there. We need these collaborative, collective places that are looking and treating both at the same time. So I, was working with a nutritionist and an endocrinologist because I have the antibodies for hypothyroidism. And I was trying to get in with an endocrinologist. I couldn't get in with anybody for months, like 8 months to a year. Again, medical system. So I went somewhere that was a little more holistic, met with a nurse practitioner, but they pair you with a nutritionist and they do blood work and they treat you a little bit more naturally. And so I was able to change my diet. I lost 10 pounds. Not that I needed to lose the weight, but it was like all this inflammation came off. My cravings went away. The blood work showed things with my hormone levels, get natural supplements, not advising that this is going to work for everyone. But that in and of itself made a difference for my blood work in those levels. Okay. What? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you because I got distracted when a car drove by because it reminded me I forgot to put gas in my vehicle when I was in town yesterday. The mind. Yeah, it does that. It does that. And are you harsh towards yourself for that? Shaming yourself? Critiquing yourself? Probably. We still have that voice. It's not that that voice is going to necessarily go away. It's, yeah, that was happening. And sometimes you'll be in a better place where you can separate from it. And sometimes you'll be in a space where you get pulled into it. And I truly, obviously that's ADHD. I fully trust in each person's autonomy to decide what's best for them. You go the medication route, and if that helps, awesome. If you're working with a coach, awesome. If you're going to therapy, awesome. This here today is being a little more playful. And also, again, the humanness and offering other perspectives. No one knows where it comes from. The only way to properly diagnose is with surgery. Many doctors don't know what they're looking at. It can take 10 to 15 years to be diagnosed because doctors don't believe women. There's no cure. The only treatment is symptom management. The symptoms vary from person to person. Personal experience is severe pain, hormonal shifts, fatigue, and infertility. Endometriosis, again. And I know so many people who are so relieved when they get that diagnosis. Endometriosis is different than fibromyalgia. I was talking about fibromyalgia. Endometriosis too, though, because that's very, 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 very hard to, as the person said, to diagnose. You only will know through surgery, and then the only treatment is symptom management. And I think it is a combination of things: your stress levels, the immune response, and probably supplements and diet change and exercise. So yes, and probably beliefs as well. And your subconscious wounds. People think there's a scary evil one that makes us kill people, but really we can't even agree on what to wear for the day. Right? Maybe the evil isn't just murdering and war. The evil can be because we're not holding the space for differences, just like we don't deal within ourselves. Many. Bad thoughts that cycle. I got to do weird stuff to make the thoughts go away. Stretchy joints crumbled with ultra stuffed skin and easy bruising and dislocated my limbs disorder. Here's another picture. See, you guys, I just appreciate you because a lot of you can make light, and we need that. Everything hurts at least a little. Sometimes a random uninjured body part hurts a lot, and every disorder generally accepted as real have been ruled out. Can't think straight. Can't do one thing without starting another. Always forgetting something. Blurts out lyrics to songs. Can't remember anything. Interrupts, but I didn't mean to. Can't sit still. I have a tendency to nest in my favorite chair and close myself off. Life is too chaotic. Also, number 2 is tiny deadly weapons intermittently stabbing the bottoms of my feet for no reason. I'm shrinking. Was told to stop getting chiropractic massages, only if they are done properly. I may have read that one yesterday. Yeah, here's another one. Another picture. Okay, everyone, part 2. I hope you enjoyed these. I enjoyed reading them. I enjoyed sharing them. I enjoyed sharing my thoughts about them. And yeah, thank you for taking your time to listen if you were here. And until next time, you can check me out on Instagram, Amanda on the Flip, or Threads, where I now share random thoughts and questions. And you can look at amandabakerwrites.com if you're interested in poetry, if you're interested in my course and community, where we are really focused on your overall wholeness, the light and the dark, the shadow work and the therapeutic work and integrating in all of those things to access and unlock your power, your magic, your gifts, your abilities to live the fulfilling yourself, the most fulfilling life. You amaze me. I love you.